Anxiety can hit you when your life looks completely fine. Your body goes into alarm, your mind panics, and you start trying to control your thoughts, your future, your relationships, anything to make it stop. Then it fades and returns again. In this video, you'll learn why it keeps coming back, what Jung said is behind it, and a simple exercise you can use today. Here's what you're going to get in the next few minutes. First, you'll see the simple loop that keeps anxiety alive, even when you try to think your way out of it. Second, you'll learn Jung's explanation for why it keeps returning, what he called the shadow, the part of you that gets pushed out of awareness but never truly disappears. And third, you'll get a short exercise you can do today, even if you've tried journaling and breathing and nothing has stuck. It won't be motivational. It will be practical. Anxiety keeps going because it's not just a feeling, it's a cycle. Sometimes there is a clear trigger, and sometimes there isn't, but the loop is similar. Your body goes into alarm first. Tension, restlessness, a tight throat, a racing heart. Then your mind tries to be helpful by finding a reason. It scans your life like a detective. What's wrong? What did I miss? What's about to happen? And when it can't find a clean answer, it starts creating possibilities, usually worst-case ones, because the brain would rather have a scary explanation than no explanation at all. Now the coping part starts. You try to reduce the alarm by doing something. Maybe you overthink, you plan, you check your phone, you search online, you replay conversations, you avoid a decision, you people please, you distract yourself, you try to force yourself to be positive. And in the short term, it often works. You feel a little relief. But that relief teaches your system a lesson. Anxiety is dangerous, and I survive by controlling, avoiding, or distracting. So the next time anxiety shows up, the mind repeats the same strategy stronger and faster because it thinks it's protecting you. That's why it can feel like you're doing everything right and still not getting free. This is where Jung gives a different answer than most modern advice. He would say anxiety doesn't only come from what's happening around you. A lot of the time, it comes from what's happening inside you specifically, from what you've pushed out of awareness. Jung called this the shadow. The shadow isn't evil. It's simply the parts of you that didn't feel safe, acceptable, or allowed to express, so you learn to hide them, even from yourself. Think about what people commonly push down: anger, grief, jealousy, desire, fear, the need to rest, the need to say no, the need to be imperfect, the need to be honest. If you grew up learning that being good means staying calm, staying productive, staying polite, staying strong, then a lot of natural human emotion gets shoved into the basement. And here's the key point. When you repress something, you don't delete it. You just remove it from conscious control. It becomes unconscious energy, and that energy looks for a way out. Anxiety can be that pressure. It can be the signal that something real in you is being ignored. The mind wants to treat anxiety like a random malfunction, but Jung would treat it more like a messenger. Not a messenger with perfect words, more like a smoke alarm. It doesn't tell you exactly what's burning, but it tells you something is happening inside the house. This is also why anxiety can feel irrational. If the source is unconscious, your logical mind won't see it clearly. So you feel the alarm without the explanation, and then the mind panics and invents explanations to match the intensity. That's when anxiety attaches itself to anything available: health, money, relationships, the future, mistakes you made 10 years ago. The surface story changes, but the deeper pressure stays the same. Here's what this can look like in real life. You spend the day being fine. You say yes when you mean no. You keep your tone pleasant. You stay productive. You don't complain. You tell yourself you shouldn't be dramatic. You push through. And then later, often at night, or when things get quiet, anxiety hits. Not because night is magical, but because the distractions are gone. The part of you that was ignored all day finally has space to surface. Or you feel anxiety and immediately reach for a coping habit. You check your phone, scroll, open and close apps, Look for new information, anything to break the feeling. That habit isn't proof you're weak. It's proof your nervous system has learned, I can't stay with this feeling. And from a Jungian view, it's often because staying with the feeling would lead you towards something you've been avoiding. An emotion, a truth, a boundary, a desire, a grief, an anger. The anxiety isn't random. It's often protecting a door you don't want to open. If you do this exercise and you feel resistance, that's not a sign it failed. That resistance is the whole point. The mind prefers anxiety plus control because it feels familiar. But the shadow doesn't dissolve through control. It dissolves through conscious contact, through seeing what you've been avoiding and making one honest move in the direction of truth. Also, don't expect anxiety to vanish instantly. Think of it like pressure in a system. If you've been pushing emotions down for years, the first time you stop pushing, the pressure can rise before it falls, because what was held back is finally allowed to appear. That doesn't mean you're getting worse. It means you're getting more honest. And honesty is where real change starts. The long-term shift happens when your nervous system learns a new association. When anxiety shows up, I don't have to panic, distract, or control. I can listen, name what's true, and act in a small, honest way. Over time, anxiety has less reason to shout because it no longer has to force your attention. If this helped you understand your anxiety in a new way, subscribe to Jungian Clarity. Because every Tuesday and Friday, we break down one pattern through Jung's psychology and end with one practical exercise you can use immediately. And if anxiety hits you hardest when the day gets quiet, watch the next video on why anxiety shows up at night and what your unconscious is trying to tell you.